What's up, everyone? This is Lee with Sports Talk Line, and today we're talking about George Kittle. Is Kittle the new Gronk? We think so. Here's why. George Kittle is changing the position of tight end. Traditional tight ends fell into two categories, blocking and receiving. Kittle has become a rushing tight end, however, generating more than half of his 1,000 plus yards after he catches the ball. In fact, he is the only tight end to ever lead the NFL in yards after catch. With so much open field running, you'd think he'd accumulate some fumbles, but the only one who makes Kittle fumble is himself. No NFL player has ever forced the ball out of his hands, although many have tried, often 2 or 3 at a time. The Iowa standout now holds the NFL record for most yards in a single season by a tight end, and is being compared to future first ballot Hall of Famer Rob Gronkowski. Their first 3 years in the league show that they are remarkably similar. However, Gronk has more touchdowns while Kittle has more explosive plays. There are a couple reasons for this. Gronk was the main scoring outlet for Brady in the 2011 Patriots team, but the 49ers tend to punch in short runs with Coleman, Mostert, and Breda. Their combine and pro day workout results also show the physical foundations for these differences. They are mostly even across the board, except in the broad jump, which has Kittle leaping a not insignificant 13 inches farther than Gronk. Kittle is a bit shorter, lighter, and weaker than Gronk, but clearly has this explosive ability that has manifested itself in his insane yards after catch stats. Gronk was famous not just for his 1,000-yard seasons and touchdown stats, but also for his efficiency. He's the all-time NFL leader in career yards per target, meaning that every time the ball was thrown in his direction, he picked up 9.9 yards on average. Kittle is currently at 9.6, putting him 5th all-time and clearly close to Gronk. Another good way to compare the two tight ends is their injury history. Gronk had one of the worst injury histories in the NFL. He had a herniated disc in his back coming out of college at Arizona State, and in only his first 3 years suffered a litany of injuries you'd normally only see in backyard wrestling. He had surgery on a high ankle sprain, a forearm fracture and refracture, another back injury, and the cherry on top was a torn ACL/MCL, which are career-ending injuries in themselves. Kittle, however, is relatively injury-free, with no major structural damage suffered in his AC joint separation or his knee injury. His other injuries have been minor sprains and pulls. He could go on to play for another 15 years at this rate. So is Kittle the new Gronk? We think so. He's the closest thing we've ever seen to Gronk, and he plays with the same passion, strength, and sacrifice he came to be known for. He can block, run routes, catch 70%, play smart, and do all the things we expect from traditional Hall of Fame tight ends. But Kittle has something else, something Lamar Jackson has: the drive and will to drag his entire sport into a new era. This has been Lee with Sports Talk Line. Thanks for listening. If you like what we do, subscribe to YouTube, donate on Patreon. Thanks. See ya.